right. Hi, welcome to Stage Diving with Scotty. Today, my guest is Derek Morris, and he's a musician and artist and all the above. How you doing, Derek?
Good, good. Just sweaty, a little sweaty. The Riverside, like I was telling you earlier, just moved to Riverside, and it's like I think it's been in like the hundreds. And like I was telling you, I had to turn the AC off so I can hear you. So yeah, I'm doing good besides the sweat right here.
Hopefully I won't keep you for too long, so I don't want you, melting through the screen.
Right.
You are actually in my sort of area of the neighborhood. I used to live in, I think we texted about this a while ago, but I lived in Chino, and Chino's only not that far from Riverside. So.
Oh yeah. I was like, well, because I was like, raised like Southern California, like Chula Vista, like San Diego, basically. Okay. But like, I mean, to us, it's different. If you're like, I'm from Chula Vista. That's like where like POD came out from, and then yeah, like it's just crazy. Like Riverside. I've lived other places, but the majority of my life was mostly like South and like San Diego.
Okay.
So and like I lived in Mexico.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you grow up in Mexico?
No, I didn't grow up in Mexico, but I lived pretty much like Chula Vista is like I don't know how many miles from like it's pretty close to like Tijuana, Mexico.
Okay.
So like, but I lived also in San Isidro, which is like from your backyard east in Mexico. Okay. So like I was basically raised. I was like the white kid, the only white kid.
Oh really?
Yeah, it was cool. Like I loved it because I just the cultures, like learning. Like I don't know, it's interesting. Like growing up and seeing like how different cultures work and stuff like that. It was cool and good Mexican food.
Oh, I bet. Yeah, top notch.
Yeah. Well, that's what, like it was crazy. Like I love that I was raised there because like my music influences were not like your typical Americans, I guess you'd say, or like this is crazy, but I didn't know like who the Beatles were till I was 20.
Really?
Yeah.
I wanna wake up next to you, feeling lonely again. How about you? The times we share, they just don't compare. I miss you so much, it's the truth, I swear. I wanna wake up next to you.
Yeah, and a lot of people would tell me, like, how do you write all these good songs? You don't know the Beatles. And I was like, what? I don't even, because my parents didn't listen to like any music. They weren't like, yeah. My mom probably would just play music on Christmas or something. But like, so my brother influenced me, and my brother would listen to gangster rap. So I was raised on like Too Short, Dr. Dre. And then I lived in Mexico. I was listening to like Maná, they came over here like 10 years ago and got huge. And I was listening to their cassette tape. Oh, wow. And then from there, so I had like two worlds. It was like hip hop. And then my brother showed me like the Smashing Pumpkins, the Cranberries, and then Green Day. So that I had like that's all I had was like those two worlds. And that's like what I guess like I love that though, because a lot of people I talk to, they to this day, I still don't know bands that people are shooting at me. Like I learned about the Rolling Stones through Social Distortion. Like Under My Thumb, that cover song.
I could see that. Yeah.
I was like, "Who's the Rolling Stones?" I was like, "I like that song Under My Thumb." They're like, "Oh, by the Rolling Stones." I was like, "No, by Social Distortion." So I love it though. Before, like people would like make fun of me, like you don't know music, and I was like, "Music's anything, man. Like you don't have. There's no proper way to do it,
Yeah. Oh, there's plenty. That's what's so funny too, is I realized that, well, speaking of that, that's how I felt with, so my brother was also a huge influence for me. He got me into like the first so I grew up in the church, and a lot from that, I was kind of sort of, I wasn't able to listen to a lot of certain especially secular music, maybe the Beach Boys. But when sort of we were getting older in our teenage years, we were starting getting into the youth group and whatnot, and some of those guys would influence my brother would influence me. And one of the bands that was shown to me, but I couldn't listen to on my own, I had to listen to it with my brother if he would let me, was One Bad Pig. And One Bad Pig did a cover with Johnny Cash, Man in Black. And I was like, I had no idea who this guy was. And so I was like, oh, that's a pretty cool song. He's got a really interesting voice. But that's how I knew Johnny Cash. I didn't know all these years about Walk the Line and all these other great songs. Yeah. So it was funny. I'm like, who's this Johnny Cash guy? So it took me a while too before I got into certain bands and I was allowed to. But yeah, it's
right.
My brother was a huge influence me on getting into U2 and a bunch of other bands. It was just that natural progression of being influenced from other people from the youth group and just going, oh my gosh, there is just a world of amazing music out there. Did he listen through the radio, or was it someone else that got influenced your brother to
that's what I was trying to remember, because like being brought up, I was raised, you would say, the ghetto. Mm-hmm. So like a lot of like ghetto music is from from where I was at, it was like hip hop, and then I was thinking my older sister, she was like probably like she's 5 years older than him. And she was the one who showed him the Cranberries. Okay. Started showing him the rock side, because we'd be all G'd up with our hats, but like the rims popped out of the car.
Yeah.
So it's just like, it's hilarious because a lot of people, they meet me or they have like you see someone, it's just how life is, and it's like, oh, this guy is like some whatever. It's like, oh, and then when I talk to them, they're like, you lived in Mexico? Like, you're the whitest like person. I mean, my eyebrows, they're blonde, I'm like, I'm so white. But it's like, it's a cool story,
Yeah. Well, it's funny. Well, when I first saw your picture and all, I was like, this guy's got to be some sort of metal singer, some deathcore singer, It's funny, or personal impressions, just some bad habits or whatever you want to call it. Just, but I'm like, oh man, he looks like he belongs in a deathcore group. And then I hear you playing acoustic. What? Okay, this is just
That's funny. I get us a lot of, what is it, like, oh yeah, tattoo artist or a white rapper, our SoundCloud rapper, or because I text real ghetto, like when I text like, what's up, homie, or I spell good like different ways, just being how I was raised. And they're like, people think I'm like my wife, before we met on a Christian app, a dating Christian app. Uh-huh. Shout out to Upward. No, I'm just playing. And then, but when I was texting, we were talking on the app, she was like, what did you say?
That you wanted to be a black rapper.
She thought I was like a white guy wanting to be a white black rapper because of the way I text. I was like, oh man. I love all that stuff because that's like kind of my message through music too.
Yeah.
Like how looks are deceiving, and like, can't judge a book, like I love that it's ingrained on me because that makes sense why I project that,
Yeah. So I'm assuming then by you getting introduced to like alternative and then maybe even Smashing Pumpkins, I guess, could be arguably grunge. What kind of got you? Like, did that spark like a new kind of like fire in you? Like, I want to do that, or was it more of the rap that was influenced? Like, what kind of clicked with you more? Was it the rap or both? The kind of alternative and the rap together? Or?
Well, what was like interesting to me, what really like changed my world was I walked in one day and I don't know where it was, but I saw the "Do You Have the Time?" the Green Day's Backseat Case.
Yes.
And I was like, I felt like this guy knows me. Like, wait a second, like, whoa, tripped me out. Because I never had like a style. It was I always just like everything. Yeah. Like I don't try to stick to something. I just kind of like, but I would say like the punk rock world and the hip hop world, it's crazy to me is because they both have like similar, I think that's what I was saying, like Tim Armstrong from Rancid And then Tupac, to me, I've always wanted to make a mural of them side by side because they're both in different worlds, but they're singing about their lives on the streets, whether they're Tupac selling drugs or having hard times or this and that. Tim Armstrong is girls dissing him, or he's getting drunk, or he's learning things about life. It just interests me how like God makes like, sometimes we look at hip hop and go, oh, they'll never understand me. Or we look at punk rock because of just the way things look again, you know?
Yes.
So, but I would say like those two, more just the heart and soul from the message, you know, of like real hip hop artists and real punk rock artists. You know, that's where like hip hop and punk rock was like, which I don't, like, I sing and don't play like that, you know, but that, I don't listen to like Dashboard Confessional. I don't, like, I know it's crazy. Like, all my wife, like, I don't, what acoustic people do I listen to? I really don't. Like, no. To be honest, like, I play drop D on acoustic. I don't really know like chords that well. I just do it on my heart, man. This whole thing's just like something from my heart, and I have stories to tell to encourage people, and I think that's what's like I love the most about it. Just because I've seen that too with like music. Like I've always been an encouraging person, but then I've also had like church and stuff. Like I went to church. My mom like took me to church. And I remember like accepting God, you know, I was like, oh, damn, this is real. Like, this is real. I felt it. It wasn't like some church flyer or something.
Yeah.
And then like later on down the line, I started like a Christian clothing company out of high school.
Wow.
And then I was in a band, and that band I wanted to use that to like encourage people, you know, with the music. And then, just things in life happen, and then I felt like I don't want to say messed up, but like went off the bandwagon, you know, and I was like hardcore alcoholic, drug addict. Like I'm talking to you, like if you would have like talked to me then, you would have been like, whoa, this guy, he is crazy and looks crazy, you know, like, cause it was just, but I sobered up, and then just kept like doing just like encouraging back to myself.
Yeah.
You know, like, because drugs and alcohol, it was weird because I was always like, I always wondered, why do people feel so depressed? And like, I never understood that pain until I went through it.
Yeah.
And so now it's like interesting. I'm just like, oh, okay. But that's like through the music, I've been able to do that. Like when I sobered up, I've had like people check into rehabs because of the music. Just because of the encouraging stuff on there, like people not commit suicide, you know? Yeah. And it's so crazy how something to me, oh yeah, that's too, sorry, I made like books too. I make books, like little, here, my wife's gonna bring one.
Yeah, that's
and
cool.
I would give these out to people.
Oh, cool.
So it says like, love is, and it has all this like, drawings I do, but this one book I particularly made, it said like, you are loved. Yeah. And I would give them away. It was just on my heart to give them away. And dude, like I'm telling you, like it just like it blows my mind what you can do, because I know a lot of people want to change the world and make it a better place. Yeah. But when you actually like do, it doesn't have to be such a big thing.
Yeah.
You know, just little tiny things. You don't gotta like, I mean, you could go to wherever, be like go to help people get water or do whatever, but sometimes like your own like neighborhood vicinity, you know, or like now social media touch people everywhere.
I think that's what's so cool and most important, I think, within the past couple of years now is just, I even had one moment where not to get too serious, I mean, yeah, but it is serious, is last year, maybe the middle of last year, I just kept on running into people that were going along the little things that you were saying, or the little things you're doing that would make such an impact. And I don't, you know, I mumble upon my words, and I'm a bit of a silly guy. I'm a big goof. And, but I've also gone through, you know, you were saying the depressing thing. I had a huge struggle with depression growing up. I think I've said this before, but where if you told 20-year-old me that I'd be happy at 42. I made it to 42, you know, because I didn't think I was going to last. But the thing is, around last year, I just did a quick little short story video on Instagram. It was because every time I went online, there was a lot of people saying, I can't get through this. Just another day, just a repeat. Just you know, what else, when's this going to end? Blah, 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 all kinds of stuff. And I just kept on saying, you know, I know it doesn't seem like it. And just a few little things of just, you can make it through. You really can. Just a couple words of encouragement. I wasn't trying to be preachy. I wasn't trying to be anything. I was just trying to be like, you know, you think you can't make it, but you are strong enough. You wouldn't believe how strong you are. You can. You know, just little things like that. And just a little word of encouragement. And one day my wife was talking to just a relative, I forgot where at, but she was talking to her on the line, and she heard someone in the background crying. And I said, why is she crying? Well, she watched your video. And she, you know, and wow. She was touched by it. And again, it wasn't anything big. It was just my heart and my experience, and just trying to encourage, as dark as it is right now, there is a way out. But as far as you show me that little book right there, that's amazing. Just a little bit of wonder will do to someone's heart. And that's beautiful, man. That's really cool. That just made me happy.
No, cool. Thanks for sharing that. That's cool. Like that, I think that too, like when we live in like the social media world, which is awesome. But at the same time, it's like you look at people and you're like, they can't be depressed. They got everything because they're showing you what they want to show you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, that too, I struggle with post-traumatic stress, PTSD. Oh. And I medicate for, like, through the doctors, not that medicate. I was like, no, I don't do that. That would make me worse. But, yeah, it's crazy. So it's like that too, a lot of people, it's interesting, like, breaking that or peeling off that layer of like, dude, I'm just like you. If anything, you probably wouldn't, you wouldn't understand what I would go through, but they look and think you have it all. And it's like, wait, we're all, I love this guy, Judah Smith. And like, he says like, we all, what is it? He says like, we all have.
We're more similar than.
Yeah, we're more similar than we are different.
Yeah, yeah.
But people look at each other like, oh, we're so different. It's like, no, we have more in common than we think we do.
Yeah.
Is what he says. And I love that because we can all relate on like, and I feel like that right now, again, like with social media, I think it's a blessing and it could be bad. I'm not against social media. Obviously, I'm on it and I've seen it. I think it's awesome. But like, I think a lot of people could get caught up in the wrong, you know, they see things that, especially like I've been in LA and Hollywood and like I've hung out with some like big people and it's just like, this isn't necessarily what y'all think it is. Like, yeah. And that's not everywhere. I'm just saying there's problems out there, you know. So we can use our platforms to help people. Like you saying that touched my heart. Yeah. About someone crying, like, dang, dude, like that's huge.
Yeah, and that's what's great about what we do.
Oh, yeah.
Hearing the people that can speak for you when you can't speak. And even if it's just instrumentals, that's a huge thing for me. Like the past decade, I've been immensely impacted by instrumental bands like Caspian and Explosions in the Sky and a bunch of other bands that you probably haven't heard of.
I know. I was like, I've heard Explosion in the Sky, though.
Oh, okay, there's one.
Yeah. I was like, oh yeah.
I don't want to throw
I'm like that guy that like it's weird. Like I know there's so much amazing music, but I'm like, my wife probably gets tired of it. I play the same songs like since we met, you know? So like, when's this guy gonna get a new album or something? But it's just like, I don't know, man. I'm old. No, I'm 40. I'm 40 also, so
okay.
I made it. Hey, we made it.
Yes, right? And it's best. It's the best. I thought I was gonna be dreading it, but I actually love it. I think 40, past couple of years, I've been loving 40. So and again, musically, I feel like I've just progressed, and I'm on a creative like just binge lately, and then and again knowing bands and listening to new bands, it's just such a treat. I just wish I could listen to everything as much as more than I already do. So would you decided to finally start doing your own music and whatnot, did you have plans to make an album, or just kind of play shows, like individual shows, or did you feel like I want to start a band, or how did you kind of see yourself when you started playing guitar? What did you wanted it to be, or was it just you just kind of around and like, hey, someone's like, hey, you should record that?
Yeah. Well, so I started this one band. It was like called Motionless. I would write the songs, right, for the bands the band I started with this other guy. So I would write the songs like naturally. It's like math to me, I guess. I suck at math, but how people are good at math, yeah. I can put a song together. It's like boom. Yeah. It's just like happens. So I was like writing it, and I had other people singing because I was just playing guitar and writing the songs.
Yeah.
And then one time I sang, and someone was like, dude, why aren't you singing? And I was like, oh, I don't know. I can't sing, because like growing up too, like I wasn't educated, right? Like properly, like my mom had us in and out of different schools. Nothing against my mom, just that's how we were raised, Yeah. So like when I would like make lyrics, or even when I talk, I say things that I'll try to use a big word that I've heard, and my wife would tell me that doesn't really make sense what you said. I'm like, dang it! Like I'm trying to get like some education here, I'm not 40. But so yeah, I would always get like, oh well, you can't write lyrics or this and that, but you're great. And I would do all the melodies. Like I would go, okay, I would sit down to sing. You're gonna go, and then. So that would happen, and then the bands never worked out, just due to whatever happened, and I stopped doing. So then I wanted to just do solo acoustic. I was like, well, I'm just gonna do it myself. I was like, kind of like picking up my, what, and like my chesticles. I was just like, I was like, dude, I'm gonna do it, even though I didn't. Believe in how I sounded.
Yeah.
I didn't care. So I did it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, from the heart. So, and that's like my biggest thing to tell people, because I had people tell me I was 28 when my friend Aaron Ward, which he passed away like I forgot how many years ago. I'm not good with numbers, but when I met him, he would tell me, he was like, you one day, he's like, your voice and your songwriting, he's like, you're amazing, but you're not where you're gonna be one day. He's like, he would tell me things, but I just didn't get it. I was like, what? And he's like, do an acoustic EP on my label. And I was like, all right. So I did a little acoustic thing, and it was a real small label, and like so I played a bunch of like shows and stuff like that, and then I just like kept playing and playing. And I even had people I remember telling me like, man, you can't, like, you play really good and you're all from the heart, but you cannot sing. Like you said. Yeah, but I didn't. It hurt, it did hurt, but I didn't stop doing it. Yeah, I was just like, I'm gonna keep doing it. Basically, so I started doing that, and then I had like and then I played with my first wife. We played, and I would play acoustic and she played piano. Mm-hmm. And we toured a lot, did it all independently. And then after that, we had like a bad divorce. Things, obviously you can't have a good divorce, but and then that's when I started like doing all like drinking crazy and all that. So I wasn't doing any music for like probably like a couple years. I was just wasting my life away. Yeah. And then I just like sobered up. I felt God tell me like for real, like one day I sobered up in like one day, and like I was drinking a lot, doing a lot of stuff, and sobered up. And I started. So the thing is, I started this thing called B&B. Okay. And which what's that? What did it stand for? B&B stand for Beat More Beats, which meant make more music. Oh, okay. So, and this was all like garage band recordings.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't being serious though. Like I would sing into like my iPad, you know. I'm serious. So but it took off. Like people liked it. Yeah. So I started getting like all this stuff happening. And until recently, which was what, 6 months ago? 6 months ago is when I actually changed my name to Derek Morris and recorded that acoustic album, Burning Love.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard to, yeah, it's a lot of like, because I was in the studio and I was like, wait a second, like, I'm not, B&B was fun. It was just like making all these electronical hip hop noises and da 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 da. But I was like, my real heart is with guitar and singing. So I just shifted that. I just changed the name and or to my actual name. And then that's when it's just been like, I feel like it's just been like crazier, you know, like focusing on it more, like real recordings.
Yeah. Well, is that what, because I noticed when listening to your music, you had everything acoustic, and then you had I forget, it's like Demon's Death or something, and then and Tonight, two completely different sounds and stuff. So is that what you're kind of talking about? The beat?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's what. Okay, so Tonight was definitely like B&B stuff. It was like that, like what's that? Yeah, like that was me. That I recorded that song right before I started coming out of B&B. Because I was gonna be a B&B single, and then I was like, wait a second, like I just felt like, wait, I love playing acoustic and singing. Why did I stop? You know? Yeah. So then I was just like, no, I'm going back to like what I love, like my first love with music, and then that Burning Love is my first album off this acoustic adventure, basically, which I just recorded that like five months ago.
Wow, that quick, huh?
Yeah. Wow. And then we're actually going to be in the studio the 27th, going to record another single. So that's going to be a cool song too. So it's been crazy because it went from like this little thing where I wasn't paying attention to the recordings. I literally would sing into my iPad and just like do it one time, and then I would just sing from my heart. I didn't have lyrics written down.
Yeah.
But that's how I started it when I sobered up. And then I just did it, and then I was like, wait, like I just said, I'm repeating myself. I was like, I'm gonna do what's really on my heart.
Yeah.
And that's what I was like, I'm whipping my acoustic out full time, you know?
Yeah.
And a lot of those songs are I wrote those songs when I was like, if 4 of those songs, or I think at least I wrote those when I was 27.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, but they never had a good recording, you know? So I was like, that's how I want to kick this off. And it has the song for Aaron Ward on it. It says like rest in peace, because I wrote that for him when he died. So yeah, I've been all over. I mean, and I've done music too with like hip hop artists. Like I've kind of been, I don't really close myself off, but now that I see like my purpose, I guess you'd say.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that's my groove, you know? So I found it at 40.
Yeah, right.
Go on just to hold you. I go on just to feel you in my life. There's no one else above you.
It's kind of how we are. That's how I feel like 42. Like I look back and go, dude, because I said a million times on here is I was such a like snobby douchebag with music. And where I was like, why do you like them? Why do you like? They're so stupid and stuff. And I was telling Faith from Penny Board that you just get to a point where you kind of realize that there was no matter how crappy a band was that you think they were, someone influenced them to become who they are, and now they're influencing people that you think are stupid for liking them. You know, and
Right.
it's just kind of funny how that works. And even now, like today, I've admitted it that I used to hate Yellow Card because I think I was just jealous because I was around that age where it's like my band isn't being known and ooh, they got a violin and they're so cool and punk and whatever and this kind of thing. But then I came to you know, a long time ago, I found them on Pandora and I was like, who's that? And oh, that's Yellow Card. And like, holy crap, that's awesome. And then I got into them so much and I went and saw them like 2 or 3 times before they broke up. And but yeah, it's just funny how that kind of works. You just kind of grow up and you kind of get over certain things. And that's why I'm doing this, because there's people out there like yourself who have a great, huge heart and have a music ability, and you want people to hear your message and you want to share your love of music to other people. And a lot of people I've already talked to, it's that same thing. And I love hearing people's journeys and what influenced them to get to where they are, whether it be, you know, just for being out their sake or something deeper. And it's just really cool to kind of see people's journey. And yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with saying, you know, we're older now and kind of finally getting into our groove.
Yeah, I know. It's like, I was telling my wife that because like we kind of met through the transitioning of me, like actually like I feel like something kindled in me. I was like, dang, I can sing. And I was like, ah, you know, like it's weird. So I was like, and I don't care. Like it's like looking in the mirror and seeing yourself or something like, oh, that's who I am. Like I didn't know, you know what I'm saying? It's really hard to describe. But I was just like, dang, dude, like, because I remember when we met, I told her, I was like, I don't think I want to sing, like, when I did the Tonight song, like, yeah, I think I'm just going to keep doing, like, I was like, I felt like there was a fight in my soul, like, oh, nah, just give it away, I'm done, you know, and then, boom, I just, like, caught on fire. I was like, oh, dang, like, let's go. And then now, like my wife is, like, the next recording too, like having her in there singing with me, like it's cool.
Yeah, it was cool to hear hear you guys collaborate on what was it called? It's Time, right?
It's Time, yeah.
Yeah, that was cool. I like that. That's a very catchy chorus too.
What's really on my mind? I'm sorry, wrong. Forgive me, wrong.
That's I would thank Green Day for that chorus. that's like things I'm like, it's funny. I'm like, I don't I remember being in bands, like you're saying, like when you're younger and they'd ask you like, so who influences you? And I remember my bandmates would be like, oh, I listen to Michael Jackson, and they'd use all these bands, and I'd be like, this guy listens to Blink-182 all day. Like, why don't you just tell them that? Like, I don't know. It's like, dude, when we're younger, it's so like, I don't know. I mean, as adults, we can still be silly with that, but you know, I just think it's fun.
I think that comes out of me sometimes. Sometimes, I'm like, oh,
yeah,
like my kids. I'm like, why do you like that? Oh, I'm like, okay, stop.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I used to always have these like not arguments, but I guess so when I was younger, because there was like the punk scene, then there's the emo kids, and then there's the hip hop, and it's like everyone used to be like this. And I used to always tell them, I was like, dude, it'd be sick if like Lil Wayne and Blink-182 did a song together, and that came true. I was just like, I don't know. I think sometimes like when you step out of it, you feel like you can see something different.
Yeah. And
like people I would tell them, like, I'd have friends, they are, I love Rancid, but Good Charlotte, they're not punk rock. And I'm like, don't you know, like Rancid and like the Good Charlotte guys are homies?
Yeah.
And I'm like, did you know, I would tell people like Pink, like Tim Armstrong produced a couple of Pink songs from Rancid.
There you go.
Yeah, that's what's crazy is because like people, like, again, like when you're young too, and when you get older, you have these things like, no, that's not that, and that's not this, you know?
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, it's crazy. Like, I love the things that blow people's minds, because it's cool to know, like, things aren't what you always think it is, you know?
Yeah.
Like, don't look at something and be like, oh, that's basically judge a book by its cover, you know?
Yeah. Actually, I wanted to know, because you said you're going to be going back in the studio, or just doing a single, or are you planning on doing another EP, or what are you planning on doing next?
We're actually, it's a single, and we're having a music video shot for it too.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, so this song, like, man, this is like, I swear, the best song like I've written. And it's just like, it's so passionate, dude. Like it's my number one thing. Me and my wife are talking about, like, man, like, we're just like, oh, this has gotta like help people, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's where I am with that. Like, and she is too. Like, it's not about being a rock star.
No.
It's like, as crazy as it sounds, I just look like one. It's just ink. Don't worry, I'm not a rock star. But you know what I mean? It's like, when you come to that point where it's like, we noticed, like, music is like, it's such a gift to, like, and I've seen it personally, so I see how it can help. Mm-hmm. So I'm so excited to see that be paid forward, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it's cool. But the song's called I'm Not. Mm-hmm. And it's basically like an encouragement to who you are in life, and as personal stuff and encouragement, like, to other people. But the video is gonna be Jose from whatever, I forgot, I don't know what he's, Chronicles. He's out here in Corona, I think, or out in Europe, where he used to live. Corona, right?
Chino.
Chino. I always get
but I know Corona.
Oh, Corona. Okay.
I know.
Yeah, so he's gonna be filming it, and that's gonna be really cool. So, because I just want to, we kind of want to put out, like, just put it out with the music video, so it's like, because we're gonna have things in it, like imagery that was like, and like words that are positive, you know, to encourage you. So we're really focused on the single. Yeah. And then after that, we'll see. I mean, we have so many new songs. So I think after that, I mean, probably do another album. So
yeah, that seems to kind of be the thing, right? It's like a single, maybe a collective, and then maybe single.
Yeah.
So it's so weird that's how it kind of is nowadays. And
I know, I'm always like, albums. Yeah.
It's very strange, especially for us.
I mean, it's cool when it's just like acoustic. It's like, oh, well, I could do it. Like, I think that too, I'm kind of over, like, I went and saw a friend's band, and I was just like, I don't know how you guys do that still, like, bringing all the equipment, like, you have to call each other, and I was just like, dude, I'm too tired for all that. Like, I just want to grab my guitar and just play, you know? It sounds so lame, but like, I actually get exhausted. Like, I don't sit at home and play my songs. I'll usually only sing them in front of an audience, or because like, it takes a lot for me to do that.
Yeah.
So and I don't think, what's that?
Do you plan, so that when you record these singles, are you just going to keep going just straight acoustic, or you plan to kind of like, you know, do a little production with it, like little extra guitars or anything, kind of amp it up a little bit, or are you just going to keep it as is?
For now, yeah, just as is. I feel like it's the simpler has been like the better focal point for us, you know?
Yeah.
And like bringing my wife into it more, that's like the next thing.
Yeah.
Because like we didn't even plan on this. Like, when I knew she played music, we like talked about that, but like that song, It's Time, it just came together. And I've never like been like, with any musician where you put a song together and it didn't like take some time or something. Mm-hmm. So we're kind of in this rhythm, like just letting like God like lead the way. Like, we're just like, all right, like, let's just let it, having fun and not stressing. That's all I want to do, and help people. Yeah. You know, that's it.
No, I was just trying to let you finish. I'm sorry.
Is my hair? Look at it.
Oh no.
It's all drenched. No, I'm just kidding. I've never grown my hair this long. It's a new thing for me.
Oh really?
Yeah. I had emo hair like that when I was like 24, probably. I'm just like, dude, because I don't know. I just love style.
Yeah.
It's fun. I feel like I'm a Christmas tree, a human Christmas tree. Like, just keep decorating myself, you know?
Hence the colored hair and stuff too.
Yeah, I'm just like, well, all right. And I'm the middle child, so that's what they say, right? The middle child. You too?
Yep. Well, man, I do appreciate your time a lot. Thanks. I know we barely even touched the surface, I feel like, honestly. But I do appreciate your time, and thanks for coming on.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you. I really, like, this is awesome. Thank you so much. And thank you for sharing your stuff, man. Like, I'm still thinking about that person crying, dude. That's like, whoa. Well, I love that. Me and my wife are all about the impact.
No, and I think that's what everybody needs nowadays. So that's perfect. You know.
Yeah.
Just let me know when you got your single coming out again, and I'll throw it out there on the.
Thank you so much.
On the socials. So.
On the social. All right, Scotty. Thank you so much.
All right, man. Have a good night. Cool off.
I know. I'm gonna turn that AC on right now.
All right. Cool. All right, man. See you later. All right.